Yesterday we have discussed how to manage the session using hidden form fields and URL rewriting. Okay. Today we are going to discuss the session management in a third way. That means the first way is using hidden form fields. Okay. The second way is using URL rewriting. The third way of session management is using cookies. The fourth way is using HTTP session. Okay. These are the four ways of session management. Already we have seen pros and cons of the first two approaches. Okay. Hidden form fields and URL rewriting. Then we'll see the third approach, cookie. Okay. What is a cookie? Okay. Basically, cookie is a key value pair. Cookie is a key value pair. That is stored in the temporary internet files. That is stored in temporary internet files. Of the client machine. Cookie is a key value pair that is stored in temporary internet files of the client machine. Temporary internet files of the client machine. So let's consider that we have a server. Let's consider like there is a server where okay, where like the Google application is there. Google application is deployed in the server. Okay. Now from this browser we are accessing this Google application. Okay. Now, is it required that this browser and this server to be located in the same machine? No. Browser and server maybe or may not be located in the same machine. So, where cookies are stored means cookies are stored in the temporary internet files in the client machine. Just consider like in this machine this browser is there. And in the client machine at some place, this temporary internet files are stored. Okay? For Mozilla, some location will be there, and for IE, some location will be there, for Chrome, some other location will be there, in a specific location of the client machine. Okay? Temporary internet files are stored. Okay? In those temporary internet files, this cookie information will be there. Okay? Understand? So, and these cookies are one of the easiest ways of session management. Cookies are one of the easiest ways of session management. Then, basically, why should we manage this session means, okay, what are the protocol that we use in web applications? HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol is considered to be a protocol type which is stateless. HTTP protocol is considered to be a stateless protocol. HTTP protocol is considered to be a stateless protocol. What is a stateless protocol means? Okay. The information of previous interaction with the client. The information of previous interaction with the client will not be available for the current interaction, will not be considered or will not be available for the current interaction. If that is the case, then it will be a stateless protocol. Understood? Stateless means the state of earlier interaction will not be available to the current interaction. That's why it is called as stateless protocol. That means the details of earlier interaction will not be available for current interaction. In a if we want to discuss that with respect to the servlet application, okay, the request parameters sent to earlier request will not be available to the current request. The current request, the request parameters and their values will be different, and the earlier request, the request parameters and their values will be different. Okay, from a browser, if I send 100 requests to the server, will that 100 requests share the data, or those 100 requests will have different data? Or if I send 100 requests to the server, 100 different requests will be sent, or the same request is shared among them? 100 different requests will be sent. So 100 times the interaction is done, and the interaction of or the data of or the state of previous interaction will not affect the current interaction. Let's consider like if I send 10 requests from the same browser to the same server. Okay, those 10 requests are completely independent. They will not depend on one another. So the state of one interaction will never affect another interaction. That is what a stateless protocol is, and HTTP is a stateless protocol. Example for the opposite thing. Okay, there is another type of protocol where we call it as a stateful protocol. Okay, another example is a stateful protocol. Another type of protocol is a stateful protocol. What does stateful protocol means? Okay, it's a opposite thing. Okay, the state of one interaction will be available for another interaction by default. State of one interaction will be available for other interactions by default. If that is the case, then it is a stateful protocol. For example, FTP. FTP is a stateful protocol. FTP is a stateful protocol. Now we are not here to discuss FTP. We are here to discuss web applications and the corresponding HTTP protocol. Okay, so we'll focus on HTTP protocol only, which is a stateless protocol. Then why do we need to manage the session means? Okay, between multiple interactions, if you want to maintain some state, basically HTTP is a stateless protocol. Why do we need to manage the session means? If you want to maintain some state in between multiple interactions. Okay, if you want to maintain some state in between multiple interactions, then we manage the session. Understand? Basically, HTTP is a stateless protocol. But if you want to maintain the state, okay, if you want to maintain the state for multiple interactions, then we manage the session. Understood? If you want to, basically HTTP is a stateless protocol. So state of one interaction will not be available for another interaction. But if you want to maintain the state for multiple interactions for any purpose, okay, then we manage the session. Understood? And one of the ways to manage the session is using cookies. Cookies will be stored in the temporary internet files of the browser. Okay? In the client machine. In the client machine in the sense where browser exists. Okay? In the machine where browser exists, these cookies will be stored in that machine where the browser exists. So, in that machine, in the browser machine or in the client machine, cookies will be stored in temporary internet files. Cookies will be stored in temporary internet files in the client machine. Client machine means a machine where browser is there. And for each and every browser in that client machine, there will be a specific location where cookies are stored. Let's consider like this is my machine. In my machine there is Firefox, IE as well as Pro. For Firefox there will be one location, for IE there will be another location, for Chrome there will be another location where these temporary internet files are stored. And cookies will exist as key value pairs. Cookies will exist as key value pairs. Cookies will exist as key value pairs. So, how the cookies will be managed? How we can create a cookie in an application and how the cookies are managed in general means? See, basically, as we told, whenever the request is transferred from the browser to server, there are three parts in the request. One is, what are the three parts in the request? Request line, request header, request body. Okay? The request line contains the method of form submission, either get or post. Okay? The URL, the URL, okay, and then protocol and the version. Okay. This is what the request line contains. The request line contains the method of form submission, URL and protocol and its version. The request header contains all the request header information. And request body contains the body. If it is get, the body is empty. If it is post, body contains the request parameter. Okay. Now in the same way, response also. Okay. The response contains response code. Okay. And response message. And response URL. Not response URL. That's it. Response code and response message. Okay, the response code will be different for different situations. Like 200 series for successful, 300 series for warnings, 400 series for exceptions related to client server interaction. That we have discussed. 500 series for server side exceptions. So basically, the response code means the code of the response. The code of response will be in this series 200, 300, 400, and 500 series. 200 series means it's successful. 300 series means successful with warnings. 400 series means there is exception in client server interaction. 500 series means there is exception in the server side. 400 series means from the client to the server, while interaction from client to server, if there is any problem, then it will be exception of 400 series. Once the control has reached the server, but in the server side there is some problem, then it is a 500 series. So these are the response codes that we have discussed earlier. Okay? And the response message will be displayed. Okay, the response code and response message will be available in the response line. And the response header contains all the header information. Okay, and response body contains the response body. Okay, the content that is supposed to be displayed in the browser. Response body contains the content that is supposed to be displayed in the browser. Response line contains the response code and the response message. Okay, whether it is success or failure or something, some message. The response header contains the header information, and response body contains the actual response content, the actual content that is supposed to be displayed in the browser. So, how cookies will be generated in our applications means we'll create a cookie, we'll add that to the response, okay, and cookies will be sent in any technology. Either the web applications can be maintained in any technology, either using .NET or Java or PHP or whatever it may be, but the cookie management will be the same. Okay, cookie management will be the same. Cookies will go to the browser as response headers, and from the browser cookies will be transferred to the server as request headers. Okay, from the browser, from the server, cookies will be transferred to the browser as response headers. But from the server to the browser, cookies will be transferred as request headers. Understood? This is how cookie management will be done. In the server, what we do is we create a, let's consider like there is username and password which is supposed to be shared between multiple requests. What we do is we'll create two cookies, one for username, another for password, and we add that cookie to the response, so that cookie will be transferred from server to the browser in the form of response header. Just we add that cookie to the response, and the cookie information will be transferred from browser to server to browser in form of response header. And what the browser will do means for all subsequent requests, that means from the next request onwards, the browser will make all those cookies available in the request object in form of a request header. Understood? So, what the server should do means, on the server side, we should write the logic that we create cookies and add to the response object. Okay? And that cookies will be transferred to the browser in form of response headers. Okay? In form of response headers. And that cookie information which is transferred to the browser in form of response headers will be stored as temporary internet files in the machine where browser exists. And for all the subsequent requests, for all the next requests, okay, from the next request onwards, that cookies will be available in every request. Okay, cookies will be available in every request. Okay, in the form of request. So, cookies will be transferred from the client to server as well as server to client in the form of headers. Okay. Cookie is not the only thing that we can set in a header. There are several things that we can set in a header, but cookie is one of the things. Cookie is one of the property that we can set in the header. But other than cookies, we can put several things in the header. Cookie is one of the items that we can put in the header. So, let's consider like from the browser to server we send a request, and that has username and password that should be available for subsequent requests also. So what we do is we put that username and password in cookie, and we add that cookie to the response, and automatically web server will put that cookie in the response header, and that will be transferred to the browser in the form of response header. Whenever the browser receives some headers in the response, the browser will put that information in temporary internet files. Okay? And that cookie information will be stored in the temporary internet files. And whenever from that browser a new request is sent to a server, to the same web application, for all the requests, for all the subsequent requests of the web application, the browser will make that cookies available. Okay, the browser will make that cookies available for all the subsequent requests to the same web application. Browser will make cookies available for all the subsequent requests. For all the subsequent requests to the same web application. So, do you think that we can manage session using cookies? Do you think that we can manage session using cookies? Yes, just because the information, some kind of information will be available beyond the request. Understood? Next thing. So we have the basic. You might have understood at least the basic concept of cookies, how cookies will work. Did you get it? Did you get how cookies will work? Just cookies will be added to response, and response will carry that cookies to the browser in form of response headers, and the browser will store that response header information to the temporary internet files. For all the next requests to the same web application, then all the cookies will be added into the request by the browser. That's how the cookies funda will be. And we'll see in a program how cookies will work. Okay? So, for the same application, let me manage the session using cookies. So, let me comment it out. I don't modify anything in the form. Just I'll make the form intact. Okay. Same way in the second select also. I don't do anything in the form. So in the first select. Just I'll create a simple form. So I won't add anything in the form. I won't add any parameters in the form. Okay? Just it will be a simple form. Now, just a form is a simple form which contains mobile email ID for first select and first name and last name for second select. Okay? Let me make it post. In first select, let me override do post. Okay. So we are using post into post. Now this is my application. I am not using hidden form fields, and I am not using what we call URL rewriting. I am using cookies. Okay. Just let me use cookies to manage this system. So from login.html to login select, we get a username and password. We are trying to make that username and password to be available for all the requests. So what we will do is, we will create a We'll create a cookie. Cookie is a class in javax.servlet.html package. Cookie is a class in javax.servlet.html package. So we need to import that. And this cookie class will be used to manage the cookies in Servlet applications. This cookie class, which exists in javax.servlet.html package, will be used to manage the cookies in Servlet applications. Understood? So, the next thing is, we'll create a cookie. Cookie will take a key value pair. The key and value both should be strings. Okay? Cookie will take a key value pair. Both the key as well as value should be a string. So, now we have only one username and one password. Now, what we do is, we create cookies specific to parameters. So, we have created two cookies, one cookie for username, another cookie for password. The first cookie name is username and the cookie value is the value that we have entered in the username field. The second cookie name is password and the value is value that we have entered in the password field. Okay? And what we do is, to the response object, we'll add cookies using add cookie method. We'll add cookies to the response object. That's it. The rest of the things will be taken care by the web service itself. Once we add responsive object to the cookies will add once we add cookies to the response object, the web server will send that cookie information back to the browser in the response headers, and the rest of the things will be managed by the web server itself. Just our code should create cookies and add the cookies to the response object. That's it. Okay. Once we create cookie and add cookie to the response object, then the web server will transfer the cookies to the browser in the form of response header, and that cookie information will be stored in temporary internet files of the client machine. Understood? So, let me see. Okay. Now, in the second servlet, I will go from login servlet to first servlet to second servlet. In the second servlet, now, if I can access that information in the second servlet, can I tell that session is being managed? If I could able to access that information in the second servlet, see, the control will go from login.html to login servlet to first servlet to second servlet. If I could able to access that cookie information and their values in the second servlet, can I tell that session is being managed using cookies? Yes. So let me try to access that cookie information in the second servlet. What I'll do is, I'll try to access that cookie information in the second servlet. Let me comment out this. Okay. What I will do is, you want to access the cookies. You want to access cookies. What we do is, as we told, cookies will be transferred from server to browser in form of response headers. From browser to servers, they will be transferred in form of request headers. So, from the request object, we should access cookies in some other servlet. So, what we do is, okay. So, this I am using a for loop. Get key or get name. Let's see. Just key colon value pair. Okay. Just this is how we can access cookies. I'm not sure get key or get name. Let me see. It's get name. Short get key. Get name of the cookie. Value of the cookie. get name method of a cookie will return the name of the cookie, and get value will return the value of cookie. Definitely, name and values of a cookie should be in a string format. Cookies can transfer the information only in a string format. Understood what you heard? Just don't blindly write in your notes. Just observe, understand, and then only write in your notes. Understood? How session management will be simple using cookies? Just once we add cookies, that's it. They will be permanently stored in the temporary internet files until the browser is closed. Okay, once we add cookies, cookies will be available till the browser is closed. Okay, cookies will be available in the browser, in the temporary internet files of browser until cookies will be available in temporary internet files of the browser until the browser is closed. Okay, so let me try to execute this application and see how it will work. And even cookies should be imported here also. Press compile. Let me start the server. Server is started. Let me go to the browser. Oh, sorry. Just I have entered Ravi and I went to the username and password. And I click on submit. It will go to the login servlet. From login servlet, just it will go to the second servlet. Sorry, it will go to first servlet. From first servlet, it will go to the second servlet. Okay, sorry. In the first servlet, we enter mobile name. So, are these values available in the subsequent requests? Yes or no? Yes. So, is session management done using cookies? Is session management achieved using cookies? Yes. The best part is, if you manage the session using either URL rewriting or hidden form fields, for each and every request, you should tell that, yeah, these are the values that I need to manage in the session. But are we doing this in case of cookies? See, in hidden form fields, what we used to do? In the login servlet, we used to add them either to form or URL, either hidden form fields or URL rewriting. We should do it in all the servlets. Okay? From login servlet as well as in the first servlet. That means, while handling each and every request, we should do this. If you want to manage the session using hidden form fields or URL rewriting, while using each and every request, for each and every request, we should do this logic. We should append those names and values or name value pairs or key value pairs for each and every request. Okay? So, if it is hidden form fields, for each and every request that we send, we need to add them as hidden form fields. If it is URL rewriting, for each and every request that we send, we should add them as key value pairs in the query string. But are we doing this for each and every request in case of cookies? Just we have done at one place, and they will be available for all the subsequent requests until the browser is closed. So, cookie is one of the best ways to manage the session. Just because it's a very simple approach, and the information is stored in the browser temporary internet files. Okay, information is stored in the browser temporary internet files. So we need not to add this cookie information for all the requests. We need not to add that information. We need not to add the cookie information for all the requests. We add the cookie information only once to the response, and it is the responsibility of the browser and web server, okay, to add the cookie information to the subsequent requests. We don't take that responsibility. In the earlier approaches, what we used to do, we used to add hidden parameters or hidden form fields and URL rewriting through our application or through the code developed in our application. But here, cookies will be added to the request object. Cookies will be added to all the subsequent requests, okay, by the browser itself. We need not to do anything. Browser itself adds cookies to all the subsequent requests. Understood? That's the advantage of cookies. Cookies is one of the simplest ways of session management. Okay? Now, let me not add this cookies. Okay? Now what I am doing is I am adding cookies to the response object. Now let me not add this cookies to the response object. I am not adding cookies to the response object. Okay? Understood? So, but I am trying to get that cookies. I am trying to get that cookies in the second servlet. In the second servlet, I am trying to get the cookies. Okay? Now, let me start the server. Let me start the server. I'm going to log in on HTML. Sorry, I compile the application, but I don't start the server. I start the server. So let me enter Rajesh as username and Reddy as password. Okay, I'll go to first servlet. Okay, now what is the username and password that it is submitting? Why it is giving the values, username value as Ravi, or cookie name is Ravi and cookie name is username, cookie value is Ravi, cookie name is password, cookie value is 1, 2, 3. Why that values exist even if we restart the server? Because the cookie information will exist in temporary internet files of the browser, and that information will be expired by default only when the browser is closed. In this application, we just restarted the server and we did not close the browser. We use the same browser, so the cookie information is still stored in the browser internet files. Understood? So, actually a wrong value is there in the cookie. The cookie should be expired in this case. Cookies should be expired in this case. Okay? But cookies will not be in the control of the server. Cookies will be in the control of browser. Okay? Cookies will be there in the control of browser. Okay? So, let me close the browser. Okay, and let me open another browser and let me access the same application. Username is Shekhar, password is 987. Okay. It is giving a null pointer exception in line 23. Okay, let me see what is the line 23 in the second servlet. Then what is the value that is possible to be null? In this line, if there is a null pointer exception, what value can be null? C array will be null. If there is a null pointer exception in a for each loop, means that specific entity or the specific collection or array which we are trying to iterate will be null. So C array is null here. Why C array is null means there are no cookies now. There are no cookies in this browser. For this browser and for this application, there are no cookies. There are no cookies for this web application in the browser, in the temporary internet files of the browser, just because we have closed and opened the browser. Okay, so what I'll do is if it is not equal to null, then we iterate the cookies. Else, what I'll tell to the browser is no cookies are available. Understood? See, if C array is null means there are no cookies. Okay? So if there are no cookies, it will come to else block and it will print no cookies are available. Understood? See, the cookies will be available until the browser is closed. Even we restart the server or we do anything, it's irrespective. Cookies will be available until the browser is closed. Okay? So, now oh, did you complete writing? First listen to the classes, then prefer to write if you have time. Even if you don't have time to write, videos will be available so that you can write the notes there. Okay, just try to concentrate much on the classes that we are discussing and the concept that we are discussing. Okay? So, first, if C array is null means it will come to S block. Not null means it will come to if block. If it is coming into if means cookies will be available. If it comes to else, cookies will not be available. Now, are we adding cookies in the login servlet? No, just because I have commented the logic that adds the cookies. I have commented the logic that adds the cookies, so cookies will not be available. Okay? And let me stop the server. Let me compile the application, restart the server, and refresh the page. Just I give the same values. Yes. What is telling? No cookies are available just because we did not add any cookie information. Okay, just the only cookie information available in the login servlet that we have commented on. Let me uncomment that. Let me uncomment that. Compile the application. Start the server. So cookies will be available now. Okay, cookies will be available now. So now in this first servlet, in this login servlet, what we are doing is we are adding cookies to the response object. Username and password values as cookies to the response object. Again, from here we are going to first servlet and finish. So, are those values available now? Yes. So, then if I come back to Hello App and I'll enter Rajesh, username is 234, password is 234, username is Rajesh. So, Rajesh and 234 will be there in the cookies. It will not create a new cookie if the cookie name is the same. If the cookie name is the same, it will override the existing cookie value. With the latest cookie value. Okay? If the cookie name is the same, or the cookie name already exists, or if a cookie already exists with the same name, then the latest value will override the existing value. Okay? If a cookie already exists with the same name, then the latest value will override the existing value. Okay. Now let's consider a scenario where I have opened a browser. Okay, and from login servlet to first servlet, from login.html to login servlet, I have sent a request. Inside login servlet, I am creating cookies, and that cookies will be available for all the subsequent requests to the web application. That doesn't need to be for the same request. Okay, that doesn't need to be from login.html to login servlet. For any subsequent request to that web application, that cookie information will be available. Understood? For all the requests, for all the subsequent requests for any URL, for all the subsequent requests for any web resource, for any servlet, cookies will be available. That cookie information will be available. It's not like the cookies will be available for all, for only the same URL pattern. Some people will think like that. If I add a cookie in the login servlet, they'll think that a cookie information will be available only to the requests that go to the login servlet. It's not correct. Once we add cookie information to the response object, the cookies will be available for all the subsequent requests for any servlet. Okay? That's how it will work. And it's the responsibility of the browser to send the cookie information, and the web server will attach the cookie information in the request header. And the best part of cookies is we need to maintain the cookies for all the subsequent requests. If it is URL rewriting or hidden form fields means, okay, let's consider that. If it is hidden form fields or URL rewriting, the control comes from browser to the server. In the server, first the control comes to login servlet, and from login servlet to back to the browser, and the browser to first servlet, and first servlet back to the browser, and browser to second servlet. This is how our interaction is. Okay? Is this how our interaction is? Just from browser, the control will be sent to login servlet. From login servlet, the response will come back to the browser. Okay, and we enter some values and send the request again to first servlet. From first servlet, the response will be sent back to the browser, and a new request will be sent from browser to second servlet. Okay, this is how it is. So, in login servlet, if it is hidden form fields, what we do? We add hidden form fields, input type equal to hidden, name equal to username, value equal to Rajesh. We add the hidden form fields each and every request. Here also we should add the same. Input type equal to hidden, name equal to some username, value equal to something. Here also we should add. So we should add hidden form fields or URL rewriting. We should perform the diagram for each and every request. Then only session will be maintained using hidden form fields or URL rewriting. But are we doing the same in case of cookies? Just we add cookies once and they will be available till the browser is closed. Just because this thing, making the state information available for subsequent requests, that will be done by the browser itself. The browser will send cookie information to the server. Server will add the cookie information in the request header. So we need not to take the burden of maintaining the state in all the requests. Just we add the cookies and send it to the response object. That's it. That is all. And access the cookies from the request object. That's it. Okay? Rest of the things, making the cookie information to be available for all the subsequent requests will be done by the browser and server itself. We need not to do anything. But if it is hidden form fields or URL rewriting, For each and every subsequent request, we ourselves should write some code so that information will be available in all the subsequent requests. Understood? But in case of cookies, that is the responsibility of the browser to send the cookies to the server, and the server will add the cookies in the request request. Understood? Now, by default, when the cookies will be expired, what is the cookies will be available in the browser temporary internet files until the browser is closed. Until the browser is closed. Let's consider like I have opened a browser and I will not close it for 2 days. Even in that case, cookies will be available in the browser by default. By default, cookies will be available in the browser until the browser is closed. By default, cookies will be available in the browser temporary internet files. By default, cookies will be available in the browser temporary internet files until browser is closed. That means if you don't close the browser for 10 days, even in that case cookies will be available. But it should not be the behavior of any website. Okay, there should be some expiration time for cookies. Just because if you open our Gmail account, if you open our Gmail account and if you log into application and we don't use Gmail for 2 or 3 hours, will it be still there or will it be automatically logged out? It will be having some expiration time, some maximum time where it will be available, where session is available. Okay. Again, if we try to access the same inbox or sent mail, then what it will tell is session is expired. Please try to log in again. It will, in banks and websites, the time will be very less, maximum 2 minutes. In banking websites, the session time or the time where cookies are available will be very less. If you don't access the banking site for 2 minutes, it will expire the session. Okay? But that time will be more in case of Gmail. 5 minutes like that. But for some time, cookies should be available. But cookies should not be available forever in the browser. The applications will not be secure if it is the case. See, if I open my machine, if I open the browser, okay, and forgot to close it, my friend comes to my machine and can access my account. So there is a problem. There is a maintenance problem if you make the cookies available forever in the browser. So what in general we do is we set some maximum time for cookies, some expiration time for cookies. Yes, if you don't access the browser for 1 minute, this cookie will expire. Okay, so how we can do that? How we can set some expiration for cookies means, okay, by using a method set max age. The method is a set max age, which takes integer as seconds, seconds as integer is a problem, which will take seconds as integer. So let me make it 30. So at maximum, this cookie will be available only for 30 seconds. At maximum, this cookie will be available only for 30 seconds. If the browser is idle for 30 seconds, then cookie will be expired. The browser is idle for 30 seconds, then automatically the cookie will be expired. Okay. So set max age is a method that is used to set the expiration time for cookies. Okay. Set max age of a cookie object will be used to set expiration time for cookies. Okay. Then that means after 30 seconds cookie will be expired. That means if the browser is idle, if you don't perform any action on the browser for 30 seconds, then the cookies will be expired. Okay. Let us see how it will work. How set max age will work. If you compile the application, stop the server. Already server is stopped. Restart the server. Just let me close the browser and open a new browser so that it will be fresh. So let me enter username and password. Click on submit. Next. Is the cookie information available? Yes. Just because we did not keep the browser idle for 30 seconds. Now, let me access the login page again. Okay. And let me try to keep the browser idle for 30 seconds. Okay. Let me keep the browser idle for 30 seconds. Okay. I did not change anything application. Just I am making the browser to be idle for 30 seconds. So when we make it idle for 30 seconds and we don't send any request to the server for 30 seconds, let us see how it will do. Just I have kept the browser idle for 30 seconds, I think more than 30 seconds. Now let me try to enter these values. Just I have kept the browser idle for 30 or more than 30 seconds. Okay. Now, is the cookie information available? No. Just because we have set the maximum age of cookies as 30 seconds. So, at maximum cookies will be available for only 30 seconds. Just we have waited for more than 30 seconds. We have kept the browser idle for more than 30 seconds. So, cookies will be expired. Understood? How to make the cookies expire? Just we set some maximum age. Just let's consider like we have a request, and if you want to make the cookies expire soon after response is sent to sent from first servlet. Control is in first servlet. Control is in first servlet. If you want to expire cookies, once the response is sent back to browser from first servlet, how we can do that? Understood my question? Control is in the first servlet. Okay? Once the first servlet execution is completed, I should expire the cookies. At that point of time itself, I should expire the cookies. Then what I can do? Understood my point? Once the response or once the execution of first servlet is completed, then I should expire the cookies. Then what I can do? I have added two cookies in the login servlet. Okay, C1 and C2, whose name is username and password, and that cookies will be available in the first servlet. Okay, what I need to do is, once the execution of first servlet is completed, I need to make the cookies expire. How I can do that? Just think for a couple of minutes. Understood my question? Once execution of first servlet is completed, cookies should be expired. Then how I can do that? Mm-hmm.
We can use the request of first server to second server.
This is not the request object that is available for first servlet to second servlet. This is the request object that is from login servlet to first servlet.
But after first server we want to.
No. Once the execution of first servlet is completed, that means once the do post of first servlet, after the last statement of the first servlet, okay, I should expire my cookies. Let's leave about the last statement. I should expire my cookies in first servlet. I should expire the cookies in first servlet. What I can do? What we can do is, just we access the cookies in the same way that we have access here. Just we go for a for loop from the request object. We told that for each every subsequent request, cookies will be available. Okay, so just for each and every cookie, what we do is, we set the max is what is it? If we set the maximum is to 0, then automatically once the response is committed, cookies will be expired. If the maximum age is 0, and once at the time the response is committed to the browser, at that time itself cookies will be expired. Just because the maximum is 0. Understood? This is how we can expire the cookies immediately. We can make the cookies expired immediately by setting the maximum age as 0. We can expire the, or we can make the cookies expire immediately, just by setting the maximum age as 0. So once response is committed to the browser from the first servlet, once response is committed to the browser from first servlet, at that time itself cookies will be expired. Just we are getting all the cookies from the request object, and for all the cookies we are setting the maximum age as 0. Understood? And once, in this case, once the response is committed from first servlet to the browser, then itself the cookies will be expired. And what is the default maximum age of cookies? Until the browser is closed. There is no certain maximum age for cookies. The default value is -1. The default value for maximum age is -1. That means if it is a negative value, then it is not counted, it is infinite. Okay, the default value of maximum age of cookies is -1. The default value of max age of cookies is -1. Then if the cookie maximum age is -1, that means that the cookie will be available till the browser is closed. Understand? How the cookies will be transferred from browser to server and server to browser? From server to browser in the servlet. We create cookie and add a cookie to the response object using response.addCookie. Okay? And once the cookie is added to a response, the web server will add that cookie information in the response headers. Through the response headers, cookie information will be sent to the browser. And once the browser receives cookie information in the response header, browser will store that cookie information in the temporary internet files. If already a cookie exists with the same name, the value will be overridden. And again, from the browser to server, if you make any subsequent request, that cookie information will be available for all the requests of the web application. Understood? This is how the cookies will be. This is how cookie management will be done. Okay? But even cookie is a very simple way of session management. Okay, there are some problems with cookies. The first problem is, you go for tools, internet options of the browser. Just, if it is Firefox, it will be like this. We have a tab named privacy. Okay, if you go for tools, internet options, privacy. In privacy we have option show cookies. Okay, some cookies are available here. So username and password available, and this is the name of the cookie, and this is the content of the cookie, and these cookies are available for this web application. Cookies are available for this web application. Cookie information will be displayed, okay, in the browser. So if I go to somewhere, if I open the browser, okay, I have opened my ICICI Bank website, okay, and just I have gone somewhere else for a couple of minutes. My friend can come here and see my username and password. It's possible, right? I have opened that in my office desktop, and I have gone for a tea. And my friend can open my machine and he can see my ICICI username and password. Security is even the chance is very less, but it is possible, right? Even if the chance is very less, it is possible. That is the first thing. Second thing is, we can delete the cookies at any point of time. At any point of time we can delete the cookies. Just we can remove all the cookies. If we remove all the cookies, so the cookies are being removed. So at any point of time we can remove the cookies. Okay, but if we try to manage the session using cookies, and if we can remove all the cookies at any point of time, then it's not a correct thing. It's not a correct thing, right? See, if we have a provision or we have a flexibility to remove the cookies at any point of time. But if the application uses cookies to manage the session, will that application can manage the session? No, that application cannot manage the session using cookies. Just because these cookies are not there. The cookies are deleted manually from the browser. Understood? Cookies can be deleted manually from the browser at any point of time. So, the cookies management will not be under the control of the server. Cookie management and the cookie information will be in the control of browser. So, if cookie information is in the control of the browser, from the browser the user can delete the cookies at any time. So, cookie information is not stagnant. Okay, it will not be permanent, or it will not be maintained by the browser. It will not be maintained by the server. If it is not maintained by the server cannot be certain that this application or this website will maintain the session for this time. Let's consider like ICICI people will tell you that yes, I'll maintain the session for 2 minutes. If you are idle for 2 minutes, then it will be logged out. If you are before 2 minutes, if you access the application, you can straight away access the application. This is the demo that ICICI has given you. And what you will do, you will access ICICI application in your browser and you will remove the cookies. Let's consider like if ICICI is managing your session using cookies. What happens? You have removed the cookies from your browser, ICICI could not able to manage the session. And you will blame ICICI that my session is not maintained just because I have removed my cookies. So, session management, it should be in the control of the browser. It should not be in the control of the browser. It should be in the control of server. But if you use cookies, what happens? Session management will be in the control of browser. Just because cookie information will be stored in the temporary internet files of the browser, at any point of time we can remove cookies from the browser. And
private browsing, cookies will not be stored in the browser. In private browsing, cookies will not be stored in the browser.
We cannot expect that the user should use private browsing. If we provide a website like ICICI or IRCTC, can we expect the user to or can we suggest the user to use only private browsing? No, we cannot expect that, right? The user can expect any browser or any browsing mechanism. Okay, but it's the application or it is the server that should take the responsibility. Whatever the mode that the user uses, or whatever the server or whatever the browser that the user prefers to, or whatever the browsing mode the user prefers to, the application should behave the same. Okay? And one more thing is we can disable the cookies. The first thing is once the cookies are available in the browser address bar, once the cookies are available in the temporary internet files of the browser, we can manually delete them. We can remove all the cookies. And the second thing is we can permanently disable the cookies. not sure how it will be in case of Firefox. Just, I'm not sure how it will be in Firefox, but in Internet Explorer, just we can, there is a tab named privacy. In privacy, it tells that, okay, medium cookies will be available. Okay, just there is a range, accept all cookies, low range cookies, medium cookies, medium and high cookies, and high cookies. So there will be some range of cookies based on the privacy policies of the web application. Okay, but this means if we drag this to the top, what does that mean? Block all the cookies. So we can block the cookies in the browser. We can change the browser level setting in such a way that cookies should be disabled. How we can disable the cookies means, just by default medium cookies will be available. By default medium cookies will be available. Just we can drag it to the top so that cookies will not be available.
What is that medium cookies and small?
It depends upon the privacy policies. Okay. Type of cookies. It is a type of cookies. Okay. How much it is secure? Low security, medium secure, or highly secure value. Okay. Depends on the levels of security and levels of privacy. We range them as medium and small cookies. Okay. So So, in the privacy, just go for blocking all the cookies, so cookies will not be available. So, let me block the cookies for this browser and let me try to access this server. So, now let me see how the web application is. Now we are adding cookies. Let me not set the maximum age of cookies. Okay, let me try to access the cookies in, let me try to add the cookies in login servlet, and let me try to access the same cookies in second servlet. Okay, let me stop the server, compile the application, start the server, and access the web application. Okay, so you enter username, password, next, now are cookies available here? Are cookies available? No, just because you see here internet options in privacy tab we have blocked all cookies. Let me restore it to default so that medium cookies will be available. Okay, I did not change anything in the application, just I am changing the browser settings. Okay, let me access the same login.html. Let me enter. Now, are cookies available now? Yes or no? So, is this the browser settings or is it the server setting that will determine cookies? Browser setting. So, cookies will be under the control of browser. If the user wants to disable the cookies for a website, they can do it. But if the application depends upon cookies to maintain its session, then is it a perfect application? No. Just because anytime cookies can be deleted and at any time cookies can be disabled. So, it is not a perfect application, a perfect web application if it manages its session using cookies. But cookies are the easiest and the best performing way to manage the session. Cookies are the easiest and the best performing way to manage the session. But the disadvantage is it is under the control of browser. And if the session management is cookies, or if the session management using cookies is acceptable for clients, then we can do it that very easily. Okay? But most of the clients will not prefer the session management using cookies, just because user can disable or delete cookies at any point of time from the browser settings. Okay? Understood? What are the pros and cons of session management using cookies? So, to overcome this, we have another way of session management using HTTP session object. Okay, that we'll discuss in the next session. Okay? Rather than starting that at this point of time, just we have 5 minutes. Just we'll start it fresh in the next session. In the next session, first we'll discuss about this HTTP session, and then we'll start with filters and listeners. Okay? Understood, everybody? Is there any confusion or conflict with cookies or the session management concept? Just this cookie will go as key value pair in the response header. In the response header, how it will be means? Just the header name will be cookie. Header name will be cookie. The values will be comma separated. Sorry, semicolon separated. Like this. By semicolon separated values, the cookies will be transferred to the browser. But the header name is cookie, and the header values is all the key value pairs of cookies. Okay? All the name and value pairs of cookies will go as a single header, that is cookie. The name of header is cookie, and the value of header is the list of cookies. The list of cookies will be delimited by semicolon. Cookie name cookie 1 equal to value 1, semicolon. Cookie name 2 equal to value 2, semicolon. Cookie name equal to value 3, like that. Okay, but the response header name is cookie and the value is a list of cookies. How the list of cookies will be there means, it will be there as a string which represents a key value pair. like cookie name equal to cookie value separated by or delimited by semicolon. Header name is cookie, header value will be list of all cookies. It's not list of all cookies means I don't mean that it will be array list or a list. Okay? Header name will be cookie and header value contains all the cookie information. How the cookie information will be exist means cookie information will exist as a string which is delimited by semicolon. Each and every cookie name and value pair will be delimited by a semicolon. In the same way, cookies will come in request header in the same way. The name will be cookie and the value will be semicolon delimited key value pairs. Okay? This is semicolon delimited key value pairs. Okay? This is a key value pair which is delimited by semicolon. So, cookies will be transferred in the form of headers. Header name will be cookie, header value will be information of all cookies. How the information of all cookies will be there means cookie will be there as key value pairs. Okay? Key 1 equal to value 1, key 2 equal to value 2, key 3 equal to value 3. And those key value pairs will be delimited using semicolon. Understood? And that will be ampersand in the case of request parameters. For cookies, in a cookie header, key value pairs of cookies will be delimited by semicolon. Okay? And in the next session, we will discuss how to manage the session using HTTP session object. Okay? These are very important for interviews, how the session is being maintained.